Okay, hello everyone. I'm sure that most of you at some point in your life have heard the term hunting or hunters, and usually whenever people think of those terms, they think of really negative thoughts. Whenever I used to think of the word hunter or hunting, I would think of hunters that just went out in the woods and just killed an innocent, defenseless animal just for no reason. But after I became a little bit more educated on the topic of hunting, I know that that's really not the case at all. I have become educated and learned that hunting is really actually beneficial for the environment and for humans. So today, I'm going to try to help educate you the way that I was educated and maybe help convince you to believe that hunting really isn't as bad as it seems. So first I'm going to explain how hunters help build an ideal environment for these animals to live in. And then secondly, I'm going to explain how hunters help relieve the stress off of these animals that live in the environment. And then finally, I'm going to try to help you understand how hunting is not only beneficial for the wildlife, but also beneficial for humans. Okay, so when people usually think of hunters like in the wildlife, they usually think of hunters like tearing the wildlife down. That's really not the case at all. Hunters are really what makes the wildlife thrive. Hunters provide the animals that live in these environments with food and water, and you often hear of hunters putting out food plots and building ponds and putting out feeders and water troughs for these animals for whenever the conditions get bad and there's not enough food resources in their natural habitat, or a drought comes and there's no water in the creeks or in the rivers for these animals to drink, and these animals in this situation would have no food or water resources if it weren't for the hunters. According to the environmental benefits of hunting, hunters provide animals with 10% of all the food that they eat throughout their entire lives. So that's actually a lot when you think about how much food that these hunters are actually providing the animals with. Hunters really do provide an ideal habitat for animals to live in. If you think of a mother that has just produced offspring and she doesn't have these resources already readily available, she would have to drag her offspring from place to place to place trying to find food and water. But with hunters already having that provided for them, they can just stay right there and they're not as susceptible to prey that are going to kill the babies. Hunters also help with population control. A high number of animals in any habitat often leads to unhealthy animals or just the animals dying because there's not enough resources. Hunters help by getting rid of the older, more mature animals and allowing the younger animals to be able to also reach maturity. And killing off the older animals really helps all the younger animals have enough resources, because with the older animals consuming all the resources, this will kill off the younger population and not allow them to grow and reach maturity like the other ones. According to the article, Why is Hunting Important? If it wasn't for hunters, 1/3 of every animal herd would die due to overpopulation. And believe it or not, hunting also helps human beings. In the article, Hunters Giving to Those in Need, in Virginia alone, over 6 million pounds of venison meat was donated to food banks across the entire state. Without hunters donating this meat to these food banks, a lot of people would have went very hungry or not had anything to eat for a long time. Hunting helps people be able to get out and interact with nature. In today's time, a lot of people don't really like to get outside and enjoy the outdoors, but hunting really helps people to get outside and interact with the outdoor world. So, in conclusion, when it comes to like hunting, humans and the wildlife are really better off. And like I said, when it comes to hunting, hunting really isn't just killing. innocent, defenseless animals. There's a larger meaning to it all, and it really just helps conservation of nature and resources, and hunting is really just beneficial for just everyone and anyone involved. Thank you.